Welcome back to my channel, y'all. This is your girl Shaq. I hope y'all are doing well and are ready to argue in the comment section. Now, there seems to be a common theme going around amongst expats and returning residents that are in Jamaica. Though there's been mixed reviews of everyone's experience moving back to the country, there seems to be a common complaint about services. Now, I want y'all to listen to this rant and let me know if you've had any similar experiences as an expat / returning resident who's now in Jamaica.
I was asking the other day, what are the downsides about living in Jamaica coming from Britain, or what we miss about living in the UK? And the number one thing is, or the only thing really, is just the lack of service. Me say, in Jamaica, you come like the people that link up together and say to themselves, you know what, if it's not time consuming, if it's not challenging, if it doesn't require 20 more documents than is really needed, then it can't happen round here. Me say, everything that you do, if you're dealing with the bank, is a problem. If you're dealing with the hospital, is a problem. If you're dealing with the custom services, is a problem. Nothing can be straightforward, nothing at all, and everything is just overly time consuming. So let me tell you something now. The banks, them, first of all, them shut at 2 o'clock and now them start a foolish start of something there. So if you're a working person, how the hell can you expect to get to the banks at those kind of operate?
That's still a thing. I mean, I know when I was in Jamaica, yeah, banks close at 2 p.m., but that's still a thing. Come on, guys, it's 2026. And as he just said, if you're a working person and your job ends at 4 or 5 p.m., how are you going to get to do any business? Now, before we move forward, I want to big up the sponsor of today's show, Kaya Athletics. Too tired to train, but the fit still had to make an appearance. That's when you know it's more than athletic wear. My favorite lounge set from Kaya Athletics. Effortless, comfortable, and still a whole vibe. You can check them out at kayaathletics.com, and you can also get 25% off if you use my code SHAQSPEAKS25.
Hours. It's beyond madness. When you reach up inside there, it's like a tsunami of people in 25 different sections. Only God, He knows where you're supposed to go. No logic in the system, none at all. When you go bank in England, you set up in the one line and the agents and the tellers can deal with what you need to deal with. I don't need to go to 15 different arrangements and lines to go to the same bank to deal with my things. Them in a Jamaica now, so you have to go to this line for this or something. You have to go to this line for that or something. Why? Why is it the people that in the bank cannot multitask and have several skills at the same time? Surely somebody in the bank must be able to deposit money and should be able to give you advice about something else. Lord of His mercy, and I saw it go, and the lines them long. Yeah, the other day when I went there to set them open up a bank account with NCB, you have to make an appointment, make an appointment, but you still wait 1 hour. So what's the point of the appointment? Only God, He knows.
I experienced that as well. One of the times when I went back to Jamaica and had to go to the tax office to deal with something. The wait times are ridiculous. And what's the point of making an appointment if when you make the appointment, for example, you make an appointment for 11 a.m., you go there, you have to wait another 2-3 hours. What's the point?
Then you sit down with the first person, you hand them all of your documents. She's looking in your face, you're looking in her face. Nobody answering, nobody's responding, no conversations going on. She tap on the computer and look on all your document there. So you sat there idly for 20 minutes just staring in the woman's boat. And then you wonder to yourself, why did I have to be here for this? What's this about? Then she said, okay, if you just take a seat and we'll call you again in an hour. You'll be called again to go to the next place. For what? I'm opening a bank account. Why am I in a triage? So at this point, I've come to the first person that's checked me in, waited for an hour, then you go to another person to look at documents. You look in their face, they look in your face, you don't speak, there's no communication, so the God, He knows what that part's about. Then you go to the final person, which again, the same thing happens again. They look in your face, you look in their face, no conversation happens. They do some tapping on the computer, and then she said, okay, Mr. Burke, this is your debit card, just please make sure that you don't give it to anybody. Right, okay, no, I'm going to go out into Harvey Tree right now and say, debit card people, woo! The woman stupidity, and you're just like, right. So I've been here for over 2 hours, borderline 3, to open up a bank account, a basic one, with no overdraft, with nothing spectacular about it, and all now I don't know what happened in the bank. What is that about? What is that about? Right now I'm in one piece of entanglement with the DHL service out here. My mother has sent a package for me from the UK with some electronic things that we did order, whatever the case may be. Send it down upon DHL with the intention that it's a door-to-door service that is supposed to come straight to my door, and they're supposed to handle the custom fees and whatever. And I was told that I received an email with the information to pay the customs fees, and something will come to my door and I'll insert something there. Not a thing gosso. You hear me say? Not a thing gosso. Because you see the package line up in the island, days and days are passing, you're calling the people them, you say to the people them, say that I haven't got my package, I don't know where my package is or whatever, or wagwa. Then they're telling me it's still going through customs. Anyways, now the people them send me one invoice, right? The people them send me one invoice. The people them send me one invoice with the something they pan it, $23,000 they want me for pay. So then I must have wrote back to them and said, why would I need to pay $23,000 when I just come to Jamaica one day and I was given a $1,000 duty-free allowance, to which I have already sent to you and submitted in on the portal. The woman then brought me back and then said, okay, she reset an invoice. This invoice now had two figures on it of a total, one of 23,000, another one 11,000.
They're overcharging a lot of people for things that they don't need to pay for. What's that about? How are people supposed to function with these types of services? With these types of systems?
So I write back to the woman and I said to her, I said, but none of this is making any sense. What is the total? This is blatantly contradictory. She then writes back again with the correct total panel, with no customs fee, because again, I've got a duty-free allowance, and then I've got a brokerage fee that I need to pay to DHL. So DHL now want £50 from me, 10,000 Jamaican dollar, for doing for being the middleman between me and the Jamaican Customs Service, for negotiating zero, because I don't owe customs anything apart from an admin fee. Right? Me no customs nothing. So you wanted to negotiate something that was zero, and then you negotiated something where you made 3 mistakes along the process. First of all, you told me about $23,000, incorrect. Then you told me about this next figure, incorrect. Then you told me about another figure. Do you understand? So you've got this inconsistency, but you want me to be paid for all of these things. Then I said to the people, them said, oh, me pay for this, because I was under the understanding that I must take up my card and I pay for my pay, what may I pay for? No. The people them are telling you that I need to go set up in Nova Scotia Bank, or I need to go to New Kingston to the office to pay the money. So what would be the logic in me now wanting a door-to-door service of a package, but I still have to pick up myself and set up in the bank for how long? And I've already explained to you that the banks in Jamaica, it is like a rodeo. It is a rodeo. When you go up inside, that's all. Beer people in there, you know, not understand what the hell is going on. And the thing about Jamaica is that Jamaicans are very accepting of this. They're very accepting of the fact that everything is very slow and everything doesn't really make sense, and there's an excessiveness required for very basic transactions. They don't complain about it. They're very accepting of it. So you're just standing there, you just have to pretend as if it's normal that you're in a bank and you're like, so hold on a second. Why is it that in Jamaica the people them don't open up more banks if there's evidently a problem with the fact that there's an overpopulation with the amount of people waiting at the bank? Them now do them, that's out of something there, and they charge you for everything, every ratty thing. You use your bank card, they charge you. You hear what I'm saying? If you use the ATM, they charge you. They charge you to use the ATM here in Jamaica. Just imagine your own bank at the own bank place the way you go to them charge you. So
I know there are fees assigned to using ATMs because they charge us here as well, but not if you're using your bank. If you're using your ATM card at the same bank where you have an account, there are no fees to use that ATM. But if you're using your card at an external bank, then there are fees to use their service. I know that's how it works, but come on, Jamaica, you're charging people to use the ATM. I think the locals need to start pushing back against these services. The extreme wait times, the issue of having to go to 10 different places to get one thing done. When it comes to services, Jamaica is operating 100 years in the past. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. The softwares, the systems, all of those things need to be updated, upgraded. And it's not that y'all don't have the money to do it. Come on, Jamaica ain't broke.
Anyways, back to the story about DHL. Come and get confused. So instead of the people them telling me so that I can pay online, I have to pick up myself, put on my shoes, put on my pants and bathe my skin, go up on the road and stand up in line to pay money, to then wait for you to then send me the package. So what difference would it make for me than if I go down there and just clear the package myself? So I called the people them a while ago and I tell them that I'm planning to go down to customs to clear the package. The woman said to me that we are still going to be owing a fee of this and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. I said to her, look, you are asking me to pay now $6,000 at customs in order for a job that has not been done. You haven't done anything. You have said that you have did a brokerage, but you've brokered what? What have you brokered? You haven't done anything. You have had a conversation with Jamaican Customs and made 3 mistakes. That is what has happened, which is also demonstrated in the email thread that we have. So what exactly have you done? And you want $6,000? That is not making any sense. $6,000 for what? And furthermore, there's an element of dishonesty here, because when we sent the package, we paid £100 and something for sending the package from the United Kingdom to Jamaica, and you knew that package, or DHL would have been aware of the fact that package would have been going through customs. Thus, this brokerage fee that you insist that I have to pay, why was that not included in the money that was there? Why was nobody informed of that? The only thing that you're telling people is about the customs fee will reach at Jamaica and all of these things. For somebody that that has never done this before, the entire system is archaic, it is primitive, and it is something that you want to go, wow. If you send a package, you just don't know when it's going to arrive. It might arrive today, it might arrive tomorrow. It just depends on what happens at the airport with the customs. And then you're going to have an email conversation with somebody that works for them that's apparently facilitating on your behalf, but they're going to make 3 mistakes along the way, and then you still have to pay the money even though they haven't done anything. And even though I'm paying customs literally no money here in Jamaica because we have a duty-free allowance. How much money DHL wants? How much money DHL wants? And I'm pretty sure that this is the bit that doesn't make sense to me, because when me there in England, me know say DHL na behave them way there. So that it's like me know say them behave them way there. Me get my text message and me get my tracking number, me sitting there come on my door. I don't go through this rigmarole, this back and forth. The girl named Shakira a while ago on the email, and you can
Come on, girl, you're disgracing the name.
see that she's not, you can see that she's a couple of biscuits short of a pack. You're like, girl, pay attention to what I want. And these are the things that's very frustrating about being in Jamaica, because I can almost guarantee you that something like that would never happen in the UK. And if something like that did happen in the UK, they'll be like, oh my goodness, we're so sorry for that mistake. What we're going to do is, Mr. Burke, is we're going to actually waiver that fee for you, just given the fact that there has been a delay with the delivery time and that there has been a series of mistakes along the way, etc. No, sir, these people are defensive, and they have this way of saying, they just repeat, as I have said, sir, and you're like, okay, repeating the same thing isn't going to change what I have said. This is how conversations work. You say something, I develop on from that, and we move on. You repeating yourself is not making any sense. What are you, a computer?
Listen, a lot of these people who are in these positions doing these jobs don't know how to do anything outside of a set routine. They have a set number of steps that they follow for their day job, and that's it. They don't learn anything in addition to that. They don't know how to navigate away from that. They don't know how to negotiate. I'm very familiar with that phrase as well. You talk to them on the phone, you're trying to get anything done. That's the line they're famous for. As I said, sir, as I said, ma'am, as I said before, most of them are using a script and they don't even know how to navigate away from that. They aren't able to think critically to say, okay, how can I make this situation better for the both of us? They don't have the basic communication skills to do these jobs.
But you are actually a human being, so you can actually diversify your vocabulary and your words and use your brain and articulate yourself and engage with what me I say. Them not have it, boy, yeah, them have the script like a Shakespeare where I read. Jesus Christ, may I tell you? Oh my God, but besides that, Jamaica's lovely, Jamaica nice, Jamaica land of wood and water, we're up already, we're up.
My husband and I were thinking of going back to Jamaica to spend a couple of months just to unwind, relax, to spend some time with family. But it's like, there's just so many things. There are so many pain points I think about. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be able to deal with this like for months on end? I understand that it's a different economy and I'm not expecting the exact same things that are here, obviously, right? But certain basic things, I'm like, come on, Jamaica, it's 2026. Like, you can do better. Anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.